This week on Storyboard, we are in conversation with Arjun Mohan, CEO UpGrad, on the impact of edtech troubles on their business, and are they looking forward to invest in big sporting properties much like other edtech players in the coming months. And he has many interesting things to share. We have Diageo India Managing Director and CEO Hina Nagarajan speaking about Diageo's premiumization strategy, driving sustainability, key consumer trends and more. And we are catching up with Toranj Mehta, Director of Marketing, De Beers Forever Mark, on the wedding season, what is Gen Z looking for and the need for sustainable luxury. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shubhani Gharat. This week, we are in conversation with Arjun Mohan, CEO UpGrad. EdTech company UpGrad recently rolled out a new brand campaign featuring journeys of its alumni in a candid conversation on screen. I spoke to Arjun on many things, including the reason to launch this film around the time when the whole EdTech space is going through a rough patch. How much are they leaning towards phygital, their marketing plans for the coming months, and are they looking forward to invest in some key properties and sporting events in the coming days? Listen in. Arjun, welcome back to CNBC-TV18. It's so good to have you on the show again.
Thanks, Shubhani, and thanks for the invite. It's always a pleasure.
Yes. So, Arjun, let's begin this conversation. Let's first speak about your recently launched campaign. It speaks about real impact. So, can you just tell us more about it and how was it conceptualized?
So, we started deeply thinking what does makes us special? What is our USP? And one answer which we got finally was the large number of alumni, the large number of learners whom we have taught and helped them transition are the biggest reasons why we get new students. When you start talking to the students and bring them on in front of the camera, first thing is everyone sees it as a lame testimonial. And there have been a lot of companies who got models to do testimonials. I mean, you know the story of Chinese education edtech, where multiple edtech companies use the same model and ended up getting the IR. So we knew that there will be a problem like that, and hence we wanted to make it as natural because we were finally getting our true alumni to talk about their own stories. So that's why if you look at the way the film is pictured also, it's actually a pretty long conversation. Each of these interviews are almost 2 to 3 hours long.
Wow,
you
that's
can
quite
see
a lot.
and you can see the longer version of it on YouTube on our channel. We allowed our alumni to just have a freewheeling conversation with our team, take us through their journey, how did we help, and then we were able to snip it out and make a 30-second, 40-second, even a 60-second film, which became a brand campaign.
Okay, and what is the purpose of launching a film around this time? What do you aim to achieve out of it at a time when, edtech is going through such a rough time?
See, it is the rough times, the tough times that your story should be told more. That's how you change the perception. So first of all, I don't think that edtech overall is going through much of an issue. I mean, the fundamentals are strong, at least in the higher ed side of it. Yes, K-12 is moving through a bit of a market changes. In our cases also, it's true that most of our working professional audience are coming back to office, and hence there's a change in consumer behavior and so on and so forth. But the fundamentals doesn't change. Hence, we felt that this is the right time to remind them all that we know that you are busy in your life, but don't forget this, because in a few months' time, you will be back with your full confidence. You will want to think about your next aspiration in life, how to get the good growth. And this is the solution to it.
Yeah, I'm going to pick on what you said. You said that edtech overall is not going through a rough patch, but many edtech companies are fighting slowdown, are fighting layoffs, difficult financial situations. What is it like at UpGrad?
So UpGrad, first of all, is unaffected. We don't see any impact on the business or anything. It's going as per the plan. And that's also because higher education as a segment did not get much impacted. You can see that the fund flow, the interest, both media and investor interest, the consumer interest on this segment is untouched. Yes, as you rightly said, certain segments like K-12, and that's also because most of the students have gone back to school. The big hike they saw during the close down of schools is now off. Or the courses involving a placement at the end of it, right? I mean, there were certain segments of higher ed itself which were talking about we will train you specifically for interviews and other things. And with firing and lesser number of interviews happening in this FANG company, there is a bit of slowdown there. But overall upskilling, no.
So there have been talks like hybrid model is going to be the savior for the edtech players. How much is UpGrad leaning towards the phygital model?
When it comes to delivery, we have not seen a lot of physical elements in it. And that's because we work with working professionals, and working professionals now today doesn't have even the amount of flexible timing they had a few years ago.
Yeah.
So they really want that flexibility. And this online gives them that flexibility. We see that most of our students come online after 9 p.m. after completing their job and then study. We have started adding immersion components to our products now, wherein the students and their students come together and travel to the campus from where they are doing online courses and attend classes with their teachers for a week's time, completely taken care as part of the course. We have started doing more and more base camps, which is basically about students in a particular city coming together to our centers and studying together, meeting their teachers in some cases. So we have brought in these digital elements to bring in the social side of it, but it's not really a delivery model. At the same time, on the acquisition side, we are seeing people more and more interested in doing it physically. That means that they are just not interested. I mean, they're just not okay with now talking on phone and enrolling for the product. They want to come and visit our offices. As a result of which, we have expanded our franchise partners. So now we have 50 retail centers of UpGrad across the country. We are into around 15 tech parks where we have started our kiosk, where a prospective customer can go and experience what an UpGrad course will be like.
So that's a part of the marketing. Any other marketing plans? We have seen other players, get on the sports sponsorship bandwagon. International events, big sporting extravaganzas are a favorite amongst edtech players. So are you going in that direction as well?
Yeah, so we are a company which is very P&L bothered, I should say. I am just the more serious stuff now. Sports is something which we considered a lot and we invested a lot earlier. But in our view, that's more of an awareness. You get huge awareness, right? A sports event gives you a huge reach. We are more in the consideration phase now, where we are explaining how can I change and make a change in your life. And that's the reason why our ads messaging or the way we do our media planning is more about how do I interact with my customer deep.
Now, Arjun, let's step into 2023. We are a couple of weeks shy of the new year. If you can share what will be the key focus areas for the year.
So UpGrad will continue building consideration, especially on the marketing side of it. What we are focused on is building the right kind of products for our customers so that they get the outcome. We believe that 2023 is going to be a very positive year for Indian employment as such. India is looking good from a market perspective, but we believe that in 2023, more jobs, more companies will come, and there will be more profiles, more specializations available in India, and hence UpGrad is also gearing up for that.
Also, finally, before we go, any specific opportunities in terms of marketing that excites you as a brand custodian of UpGrad for the coming months?
I am particularly seeing a lot of tech interventions in the customized marketing which is coming in. My prediction is that in 2023, there will be a lot of blockchain-driven customized marketing platforms which will compete with the social media giants of the world. That's going to be interesting because there you will have the customers controlling their own data. And the specific cohort targeting will be much more much more perfect than the kind of issues we see today. So that
the world with cookies,
Yes. The world will move beyond cookies. It will be all on the chain, is how we see it. So we do a lot of work there, working with these companies, understanding it. We have a large blockchain training courses also within our portfolio. So that also helps us keeping a step ahead. 2023 is also going to be a time of large events. Both in the sporting and in the TV arena, we'll have to think it through how we become part of these bandwagon if it makes sense for us. But
So you're thinking about it.
Absolutely, we think about everything, right? I mean, like we don't want to lose any of this. I mean, for instance, Shark Tank was very fantastic for us. I think it really helped us get into micro cohorts of audience who would have never really thought that upskilling can be done online. And we saw a few of our programs really give ROIs real fast. So we are on a constant lookout for things like that.
Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us today.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we are speaking with Diageo India Managing Director and CEO Hina Nagarajan on Diageo's premiumization strategy, driving sustainability, key consumer trends and more. Welcome back. The pandemic had a huge impact on the liquor industry when out-of-home consumption came to a stop. It's been well over a year now since the world opened up and consumption levels got back up again. So how has the year fared for Diageo India, one of the biggest alcoholic beverages company? We find out from the Managing Director and CEO Hina Nagarajan in an exclusive interview with Dilshad Irani. Nagarajan talks about Diageo's premiumization strategy, driving sustainability, key consumer trends and more.
Hello and welcome to Storyboard18, Hina. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Great to be here, Dilshad. Thank you for having me over.
So let me just sort of dial back a little bit and ask you about, especially after things opened up and consumption came back on track and it came back with a vengeance. So how has this past year been post the pandemic? What does your report card look like for Diageo?
I'm actually very happy to share that our business is bigger and stronger compared to the pre-pandemic levels of 2019. We've delivered a net sales growth of almost 18%. This last quarter gone by, and it is underpinned by, continued growth momentum, very strong mix improvement coming from our recent innovations, renovations like Royal Challenge American Pride, our launch in craft through our single malt Godawan. And we've done some very powerful brand renovations on Signature, Black Dog. I would say the larger consumption story, which is anchored in premiumization, continues quite strongly. If we look at our prestige and above business, right, it has grown by 23%, and that's the highest growth we've had in the last 24 quarters. So premium products now exceed 70% of our portfolio. And we are continuing to focus on prestige and above and, to capitalize on this rapidly growing premium segment and changing consumer trends. So we feel very confident with the strength of our reshaped portfolio, the investment we are putting in that, we will be able to grow the business in a consistent, sustainable manner to create long-term value for all our stakeholders.
What are some of the key consumer shifts in consumer preferences and behaviors that are also informing your business growth and product strategies, your marketing strategies? What are the key trends that you have your eye on?
I mean, the first thing we find is that, look, consumers are drinking better, right? So the whole premiumization shows that people are looking for more high quality brands, and they're not necessarily drinking more, but they are really drinking better. And that fits perfectly with our purpose of, driving moderation, right? Definitely consumers are living in the physical and the digital world now. So we've had, some new channels like home delivery open up, and that model is gaining momentum in some states. I think it's still early stage, but definitely phygital living and digital engagement has gone up. Consumers are really experimenting. And we found that, when everything was locked down, in-home experimentation, different types of drinks, cocktail making became quite big during this. Socializing has changed. I mean, in-home drinking has now become quite normalized, whereas it was earlier in the bars. Now it's quite okay to drink at home. And we also see that the younger consumers, right? So we've got 100 million new consumers who are coming into this category in the next 5 years. And these younger consumers are really doing repertoire drinking. So you see, in addition to whiskey, gin and vodka, growing quite fast, right? So these are the trends we are looking at. The retail environment has changed dramatically. Delshad, you would have seen some of the stores. I mean, they look like any international store. So the shopper experience has changed. And I think these choices, plus the fact that consumers are definitely looking at sustainability in brands, right? We are definitely being driven by that particular one and all these trends in terms of our portfolio reshape, our choices of innovation and renovation.
It's such an exciting time for the liquor industry. We've seen the emergence of new brands and young brands, emerging brands, and consumer tastes and preferences are shifting dramatically, as you mentioned. What is your view on not just the well-entrenched players, your competition, but also some of the new players that are emerging? What is your general sense of what they're doing and how they are building their brands?
I mean, first of all, I would say India has one of the lowest penetration levels of alcohol, and also the lowest per capita consumption in the world, right? So with growing consumer aspiration and income, there's a lot of headroom for this industry to grow. And we expect competition to actually bring category expansion and growth and drive penetration, which has a long way to go, frankly. The premiumization trend is accelerating rapidly, and it is providing all players with ample opportunity to launch new products, to enter and grow sustainably in the long term. We think the differentiator will be transformational innovation. And for us at Diageo India, we've invested significantly in building capabilities, firstly on future back consumer insights. Where is this market headed? Where are consumers going to be going in the future? Liquid development, which is quite critical because the consumer is looking for new offerings. Distillation, maturation capability, and also partnering, collaborating with craft spirits ecosystem, because craft has become quite big as a trend in India. And we are providing, support to develop, nurture, and mentor smaller companies. And we believe that this will go a long way in both supporting our growth ambition, as well as giving industry an impetus. So we feel very optimistic about the growth of the industry with the new entrants.
Can I ask you to elaborate a bit on your acquisition strategy going forward?
Yeah, I mean, we are open to evaluating interesting opportunities, which we call actually our new engines of growth. So our recent taking a stake in Now Spirits, which makes Greater Than and Hapusha Gin, is one such reflection of our strategy, right? We will review any M&A opportunities and other strategic opportunities as they arise. I think what we're also open to is partnerships and alliances, which bring innovative products and solutions both on the portfolio side, as well as to support our ESG agenda, right? So, whether it is to tackle counterfeit or really to track our sustainability. I mean, I don't know if you've managed to catch this, but we recently partnered with a company called Source, who is helping us to extract water from air using sunlight. And Godawan, our Indian single malt, is going to be the first brand to use this. Now that is helping conserve water in Rajasthan, which is very parched, as you know, right? We also have a blockchain-based track and trace system that we have launched on some of our brands, and we'll extend it to the fuller portfolio. This is one of the partnerships we have to help us track, from the start to the end journey of our whiskey, the sustainability metrics, right? So the other thing we have done is we've set up a state-of-the-art craft and innovation hub at Ponda, Goa. And this is an investment of 45 crores. And it is, with the view to accelerate our innovation and strengthen the crafts and premium portfolio. So we have the money, we are a cash, positive company, and we have the money to invest where the opportunities are, and we will continue to look at that.
Thank you so much for your time, Hina. It was lovely chatting with you.
Lovely chatting with you too, and thanks again.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, Welcome back. Around the wedding season, we are catching up with Toranj Mehta, Director of Marketing, De Beers Forevermark, on traditions and jewelry customs across the country. And as a global brand, how do they address these various needs across the markets? Key purchase trends amongst the Gen Z, the need for sustainable luxury, and much more. Let's hear this chat.
Toranj, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thanks for having me, Shivani.
So we are meeting around the time of the grand Indian wedding season. What are the preparations like, and how is it going so far?
Well, we've had a pretty good Diwali considering how the global economy is, but and I think India seems to be bucking the trend just now. But overall, we've had a great season, and getting into wedding, I think it's fairly positive, so it should be good for us.
Also, Toransh, India is a country with diverse cultures, their own individual unique jewelry we see across the different parts of the country. How do you really address the various needs of this diverse Indian consumer?
Actually, it's a very interesting question because for a global brand like De Beers Forever Mark, there is a certain global design language and a global language that we need to speak. But given that Forever Mark is an ingredient diamond brand, so it goes into a lot of jewelry that doesn't necessarily have to be stuck with a global design. So we've actually studied the market. For example, in the South, there is a typical setting called closed setting that is prevalent and is a staple. So we do have a Forever Mark traditional setting collection. In the north, or even when during the wedding, you have bangles, diamond bangles that are bought. So we created the Forever Mark diamond bangle collection called Circle of Trust. But now we've come to realize that there is a whole chunk of a global Indian citizen who wants the global designs and who is looking to be a member of that global set. And for them, we do launch simultaneously as the designs are launched abroad. They are launched here in India. So like that, we've had the Avanti collection, which is a global design meant for a global citizen.
What are the challenges of communicating to, this discerning Indian young consumer of today, like when it comes to marketing?
So there is a lot of stuff that that is happening, especially when you talk about retail now. The whole concept of phygital, which means that a consumer expects a brand or a retail store to have a seamless and a connected online and offline experience. So when a customer is looking at you, it is critical that the omni-channel experience that they have is so seamless that it really is what they are expecting now. It's not as though it's a choice that any brand has. Apart from that, it's also about the values that you are portraying as a brand. A customer now, especially the younger generation, the Gen Z, is looking at whether you're actually putting, your money where your mouth is. So if you say that you stand for a certain value or a certain ethic, then they're expecting you to show support and action in that ethic that you're showing, and that needs to be communicated to them.
And sustainable luxury also is something that is much talked about amongst the Gen Z. At least I have seen that conversation, in circles around me. What is De Beers doing in this direction, really?
From De Beers' perspective, if you were to look at a diamond, diamonds are a finite resource, and eventually there will be no diamonds. They are so rare, right? So we know that once the last diamond is discovered, there has to be some way for those communities that are producing the diamonds to have a livelihood to move forward. So, and also diamonds are like billions of years old. So they are older than dinosaurs. So it is the closest thing that you can have to forever. So we do have a program called Building Forever, which is about making a lasting impact, a positive impact, which goes well beyond the discovery of the last diamond. And under that, we have several pillars, which is about protecting the natural world, accelerating equal opportunity, leading ethical business practices, and partnering with thriving communities. And under that, there are several projects that we are doing. And our ambition is to reach a certain level at these projects by 2030. For example, we want to be carbon neutral by 2030. We want to have parity amongst employees, where it is gender parity as well as diversity, equal parity amongst our employees by 2030. Also, we have certain projects that are under research, which will help reduce the water consumption that we have as a industry. So there are various things that we are doing towards helping build the sustainability and helping build the whole positive impact that we have as a company and as a brand on the environment and the ecosystem around us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us today.
Thanks, Shibani. Bye.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.